The Times is messing up, y'all. The Times is messing up. So my name is Michael Stevenson. Welcome to my channel. Again, as I continue to try to organize things, I just want to give you guys my opinion on a few things. This channel is not necessarily a full-on entertainment channel, but it will have entertainment pieces from time to time. Of course, like, share, subscribe to this video, to my channel. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's get to the subject at hand that you see at the top of the video. What is going on with all of the Toms, like the famous Toms? I don't know if Venus was in retrograde. I should have known that last year, after the Toms had been on essentially a winning streak, famous Toms, and that began like in 2021 with Tom Hardy. You know, he did that terrible Venom film, and then everybody was like, oh wow, a terrible comic book movie, let's rush out to see it. After people watched that film and it was somehow winning at the box office, and then, you know, it was another Tom who won later in the year, and then Tom Cruise in 2022 May came out with Top Gun Maverick, and that did so phenomenally well. Should have known then that the Toms were being set up for big failure for like the next year and a half. I don't know how long it's gonna go on. And you know, it started with what's his name, Tom Brady, right? Last year, 2022, he comes out and says, hey guys, it's it, I'm retiring. Okay, I'm done. Then what was it, like 6 weeks later, this fool pulls, psych, I'm not done at all, fools. I'm coming back to play more football. I should have known then that that was a curse. That was an omen. Like, no, you should not have come back, Tom Brady. So he comes back, right? And that basically starts the onslaught of all the time. So Tom Brady comes back, and Giselle is just, you know, in the corner like, oh, so you coming back, huh? Okay, I got something for you. Boom, divorce. The Tom losses don't stop there throughout the summer. Tom Cruise is still winning, but as soon as Brady is like, yeah, you know, Giselle filed for divorce, all this stuff, blah, 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 yada, yada. And yeah, I might have the timeline a little bit wrong, but as soon as she does that, what happens next? Boom! Tom Schwartz and Nikki, my bad, not Nikki, Katie. I always call Katie Nikki, because to me, she definitely looks like a Nikki. Like, share in the comments below if you think the same, but she looks like a Nikki with the 2 Ks. And then TMZ featured that sad photo of them where they're both like sitting at a table outside at like a restaurant, and they're on their phones texting, not really looking or paying attention to each other. And this was after the divorce filing. So it's like, what are they talking about? So then we keep going, and September hits, and September brings about probably one of the worst film adaptations that I've seen in a long while. And who does it feature? It features none other than the fantastic, amazing, legendary Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks stars in probably one of the worst Pinocchio adaptations ever. Yes, it followed the main Disney story of Pinocchio, like their version of Pinocchio. But it was so bland, so boring. I was like, oh, can you please, for the love of God, somehow wipe this film off of Tom Hanks's filmography? Yes, he has done some stinkers before, but this film was just so boring and so bland, and I feel like everybody hated it. And I was like, no, Tom Hanks, what are you doing? This is a loss for all Toms everywhere. And now we have this. Tom Sandoval, man. I just like, oh God, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, this thing, I feel like, I can't say that it couldn't get more messy. It definitely could get more messy. But, oh Lord, it's like, it's more messy than Lionel, you know, for all you soccer fans. Like, okay, admittedly, I have been sitting on that joke for a while, and I haven't had any place to use it. I know it's stupid, it's crummy, whatever. But just the fact that Tom Sandoval apparently has been cheating on Ariana since we don't know how long. We don't know the timeline exactly, but they're saying TMZ is reporting that they had like matching necklaces and him with he's cheating on Ariana with Raquel, and I'm assuming that it's a lot of Vanderpump Rules fans who are watching this right now, so you know who the people I'm talking about. He was apparently cheating on her with Raquel, which I'm like, okay, I could see that, but what I can tell you is this. So I released a couple of videos just to give my quick, fast reaction to what was going on with Tom and Ariana and Raquel and their little love triangle or whatever you want to call it. And on there, I basically shared the things that I still think. Number one, I've been watching Vanderpump Rules for a very long time, since literally the first season. But I stopped in 2020, mainly just because I no longer had access to Bravo. It's kind of okay with cutting all the reality shows and whatnot out of my viewing because I already have so much stuff to view and then to write and all this stuff. But I'm back, and I don't know why. Listen, I have no idea why Tom Schwartz and I almost called her Nikki again, and Katie breaking up did not bring me back to viewing Vanderpump Rules, because them I actually rooted for. Even though I thought that they were mismatched too, I rooted for them as a couple because I believed that they were a couple. Tom and Ariana, this is not to say that I dislike Ariana or that I dislike either one of them, but I never felt that they made a good looking couple like at all. Like, I remember the first time they introduced her when, Ariana and Tom were like shopping in a store, and they were talking about how they were such good friends. And I think he was positioning her like, I think he may have posed the question like we should start dating or something like that. And they've basically been together ever since. And I remember then I was like, for whatever reason, to me, she was giving off big lesbian vibes. And I then wasn't shocked when it was like, I don't know how many episodes later, it might have been a couple of seasons later, when she revealed that she was bisexual, because I was like, yeah, she looks like she would be better with a woman rather than Tom. Something was always off for me. Like, they just don't look like they belong together. Then there were all these other things that added up. The fact that she didn't want kids, and Tom posed this weird sort of elseworld scenario in which he was going to like adopt a child and have the child there in the house living with them, but Ariana wouldn't be like, she wouldn't be required to interact with the child or be the child's mother. I was like, that is such a weird like paradigm that he's trying to set up for his life, because he doesn't want to give her up, but he also doesn't want to give up his ideas of what he wants his life to look like. The fact that he wanted to get married and she never seemed to want to get married. I mean, there were just so many red flags that, in my opinion, I was like, why are you two together? I think the reason why their breakup has brought me back to Vanderpump Rules, but not Schwartz's and Katie's, is because I kind of wanted to see Tom and Ariana break up. And this is not to say that I was rooting against them. Like, look, y'all, I love the idea of love. So I try to root for people if they fall in love or if they say they're in love. I try to root for their relationships. But it was hard for me to root for Tom and Ariana. And this is nothing against either one of them. But it was just like, y'all do not go well together. Why are you wasting each other's time? They wasted basically a whole decade when both of them could have been finding people that they match much better with, as far as like the things that they really, really want and require out of life. I feel like in general, in some way, shape, and form, um, the problems that I saw with Tom Sandoval are literally, or with the Tom Sandoval relationship, are literally some of the same problems that I see with almost all famous Toms. Like, I don't know why this is, but I feel like for almost every famous Tom that I've seen, at some point, he wants, like, that Tom will want the woman that he's with to kind of take a backseat role. With both Toms on Vanderpump Rules, with both Schwartz and Sandoval, I always felt like neither one of them matched the energy that their women were giving out. Like, Tom and Katie's, Schwartz's and Katie's relationship always felt off to me too, because of the fact that Schwartz is just too laid back of a guy. Like, he really is. And I I just don't feel like Katie really wants a laid back guy. Like, I don't think she wants a laid back guy to that extent. I hate to say this, and yes, everybody is gonna look at me crazy, but listen, we've seen this trope more than enough times in books and movies and whatnot, all this stuff. But I always kind of felt like Tom Sandoval and Katie would have made a better match than Tom Schwartz and Katie. And again, I just feel like this is not to say that they should try to hook up or anything like that. Nothing like that. Or that they should try to do the enemies to lovers, whatever. No. But this is to say that I felt like at least Sandoval matches Katie's energy. But when I'm looking at Sandoval and Ariana, or Schwartz and Katie, and when I'm looking at other Toms too throughout, the entertainment industry, because we've had some other famous Toms who have had some famous ladies with them. Tom Cruise comes to mind, and I love, love, love me some Tom Cruise. I really do. I hope to work with him in the future. But I mean, come on. I rooted for him and his Katie Holmes back in the day. But I was like, to be honest and to be fair, did anybody really see that working out? Like, I just felt like the energy is always off between the Tom and the woman that he's with. And the only famous Tom that I can think of who matches the energy of his wife, I think, is Tom Hanks with Rita. But even then, and I love me some Tom Hanks too, but even then, we have to go back and look at how Tom Hanks and Rita's relationship started. And I don't even want to mention it in the video, but if you know, you can just Google it and it's right there. I don't know. I just don't know what's going on with the Toms. It's like, professionally, they do amazing. They do phenomenal. But personally, privately, in their relationships, it is not, it's, something's up. Something's up. And like I said, I feel like in both the Tom Sandoval and Ariana relationship, as well as the Schwartz Katie relationship, there was a certain level of jealousy there. And again, let me be very clear. I feel like this was a problem with all of them. Okay, when the news broke about Tom Sandoval and Raquel getting in a situationship, let's say, having an affair, I was like, okay, well, maybe I do want to tune in because I want to see what actually happened to lead up to Raquel, like Tom Sandoval being with Raquel. So, and frankly, to see what the Schwartz thing was about. So literally, I go in like 2 nights ago to start watching Vanderpump Rules, at least this first season. And so it has episode 1 on there. And I'm like, oh, so I just click on episode 1. It's on demand. Well, turns out the episode 1 that was on demand was for season 9. It's currently season 10. So I click on that episode and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I don't want to watch this. But then I'm like, well, I guess I can catch up. So I watched season 9, episode 1. And it is such an incredible, I mean, it's just like a mind, I don't know, man. It's like a mind screw to watch that as compared to all of the news that's coming out now. So just so you guys know, if you haven't been paying attention or if you forgot and need a refresher, Katie and Tom Schwartz were still together. Tom and Tom were still trying to open Schwartz and Sandy's, which they still are trying to do on season 10. They literally like just started because they had just told Lisa that they were going to do it. James Kennedy was literally still working up the courage to propose to Raquel. So they weren't even engaged yet, let alone broken up, which they are now. And Ariana was getting into it with Lala, and Lala was still with what's his name, Randall, the guy who got into it with 50 Cent. Like it was, I'm like, oh my God, this is only in season 9. I don't know how long of a time period they skipped, but it was crazy because I've watched up to like the first 4 or 6 episodes, and I watched James propose to Raquel, and this happened.
I'm surrounded by friends. I have a festival named after me. I'm going to be the future Mrs. James Kennedy. I can't believe this is my life.
Like, oh boy, what a season. What a freaking season a season makes. Like, what a change a season makes. It was just a crazy time warp. I watched season 9, episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I jumped to season 10, episode 2. And I watched 2, 3, and 4. And I'm just thinking like, it is just, it's literally like one of those two-faced statues where it's like it's a face on one side and a face on the other. And one is supposed to symbolize night and the other one day. Like, so much seems to have changed. Raquel was flirting with Schwartz and like asking him if he wants to make out and everything, but she never showed really a sign that she was even interested in Sandoval. Like, even in the season, which I don't know, we're only on episode 5 in season 10, but it just feels weird. But it feels even weirder knowing that James Kennedy in season 9 was talking about how Tom Sandoval would probably be like his best man, or one of his best men at the wedding that he was going to have with Raquel, mainly because Tom was the one who helped James set up his whole proposal party thing. This is so it's just watching these episodes and doing season 9 and season 10 like together. It is so grimy. Like, it is so messy. So, of course, they're going on their whole apology tour and all this stuff, and TMZ is reporting it. And I love how Tom's original apology completely left out Ariana, and then he made a plea to the fans. Like, fans, please, for the love of God, I know I've done wrong, but don't take it out on my businesses. Like, Tom, we still have great appetizers. Basically, like, he might as well have said that. But at the same time, I'm like, oh man, I just wonder how Ariana feels. Like, I hope that Ariana is doing well. I hope that she is taking this in stride. That just like Raquel, she's seeing a therapist about this if she still has lingering feelings, because it doesn't look like they're going to get back together. Although I will say this, because I did want to bring this up and touch on it. I know most people, for the most part, are on Ariana's side, and I'm not taking sides in this. I don't. I'm really not. Like, I like Tom more than I've liked Ariana, but I know, cheating is just wrong. It's the worst thing it's one of the worst things that you can do to your partner, especially when you're committed to them. So I'm looking at it as, I just want everybody to be able to move on in a healthy manner. And like I said, I never thought that Ariana and Tom actually should have been together in the first place. So the way I'm looking at it, though, is, weren't there rumors back in the day when Tom was still with was it Kirsten Doty? Like, didn't Kristen Doty swear up and down that Tom and Ariana had been having some sort of a relationship, semi-sexual relationship, before uh, Doty and Tom broke up? Because, there have been some rumors about how, well, you lose them how you get them. And I'm not saying that they did, but I know that Ariana, I feel like she swore up and down that they never slept together before Tom broke up with Doty. And I hope that's true, because I'm not really a big believer in karma. But, oh man, if they lied about it, I don't know, man. I don't know. But I will also say this: Tom Sandoval, and frankly Tom Shorts too, but more Sandoval, he has never seemed like the type of person that can be alone. It feels like he does this thing where he sets up a relationship before leaving his current relationship. He'll set up his next relationship so that he can smoothly glide into the next one without disruption of, basically, of getting laid. Like, he can slide from one woman to the next and not have to, not have to go on this, like, find myself type of journey alone. And I don't know, what do we do if Tom and Raquel decide to try to make a relationship out of this? Like, what is the amount of time that we give them before we, I guess, cheer for them or start saying, okay, this is a good relationship? Like, do they need to be together for a certain period of time? Does Ariana need to have been moved on and have another person in her life? I don't know. I don't know. Like, I just wish that all of the Toms were doing better. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Some of you are thinking, like, wow, you called out all these public Toms, but you didn't call out one particular Tom, and you even skipped over him at the very beginning when you were talking about Toms that were winning. Okay, I'm going to keep it all the way real fresh and funky with y'all, 100%. I'm still not going to use the names, but y'all know who I'm referring to. I actually do still want to get to Hollywood, be famous, live the whole Hollywood life, and be an actor director. So I still have hopes of that. But I also have a Hollywood crush on a particular lady who happens to be dating a Tom right now. And I'm going to say this. I'm not speaking on them and their relationship at all, because I don't want to sound sour and then this come out and, years later people are like, oh, wow, he actually is famous now. But look what he said about this person, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I will simply say that all of the stuff that I've said that is potentially negative about Toms and their relationships, I don't think that the couple that I'm talking about is immune to these things. I still feel that, there's a certain hint, a certain level of like controlling or domineering personality type stuff there in most of the times. Again, Tom Sandoval, Tom Schwartz, he wasn't like domineering in the way that we think of, but his I feel like he had a huge sense of passive aggressiveness, which is why Katie was always getting so ticked about him, because I feel like he weirdly enough tries to control things in a passive aggressive way that it just never felt like he was fully on her side. I believe that he loved her. I just didn't believe that he was fully on her side and thought that she, as the person that she is, was enough for him. And again, I get that with a lot of different times. Like I said, I'm not going to talk negative about that relationship. And even if I did get famous and get to Hollywood, even though, yes, I would potentially want to date her because I feel like we could potentially make a real good match, I am still quietly cheering for them, hoping that, if they do have love, that it grows. Because I'm not, even with women that I've had crushes on and stuff like that, I don't, if they're in a relationship already, I'm not going to try to talk negative about that relationship just to get them to do whatever. If you're in love, I'm going to try to root for that. Okay. So that other Tom that I didn't mention that is very famous and that is not Tom Hiddleston, uh, not Tom Cruise and not Tom Hanks. And I know Tom Hardy, we never really see him with his wife or anything. So, but he's married and I think he's happily married, has children, all that stuff. But y'all know the other Tom that I'm talking about. Y'all know the famous woman that I'm talking about as well. I'm not going to mention them. But again, all I'm gonna say is the times are messing up. Be aware of what the times are doing. I hope that the Sandoval, Raquel, and Ariana situation has a good ending to it that everybody can be pleased with. I hope that Ariana gets some healing. I hope that Raquel gets some healing too, because it's like she said in one of the TMZ articles, she is very codependent. Like she's very codependent. She does not seem to have her own full personality yet. And I feel like she could potentially, if she doesn't slow down and figure out who she really is and what she really wants, she could potentially just hop from man to man to man to man, and essentially play that cool girl, like from Going Girl, play that cool girl role where she just sort of adjusts to whatever man is around her. And it's like, you know, I just hope that she does some healing too. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave your I know this was a long video. I apologize. I am long-winded. I just need to get everything out about what I was feeling about all the times and about Vanderpump Rules and the shenanigans that are going on the show right now. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts, comments below. Do you think that Tom and Ariana made a great couple? Do you think that Tom and Raquel could potentially make a good couple? Do they look good together to you? Should Raquel somehow go back to James? Like, do you think that James Kennedy has actually moved on from Raquel? Let me know in the comments. Again, like, share, subscribe. And also, I am a writer, so stay tuned to my channel. I'm going to be talking about some of my projects, some of the upcoming projects, as well as some of my past projects, okay? And I'm also going to be doing some food stuff very soon. So stay tuned. It's a lot of stuff coming. All right?
Another
I don't
bombshell about Vanderpump Rules and what's going on with the whole Tom Sandoval Raquel situation. Take a look. Like, what? What the heck? Look, I know. I always knew that Sheena and Ariana were friends, but I didn't know she was like that type of ride or die. Like, I got a knuckle up type of friend for Ariana. I just never knew that. Like, I know that they're good friends, but dang, you swinging on Raquel for that? Ooh boy. I mean, this is something. This is going to get messy. This is going to get even messier than I thought it was before. Like, ooh boy, I don't know. I I know I should be way more mature about this and not be excited about all the drama, but I am.